Hello everyone. The 21 questions video playlist of mine on YouTube has been popular, and I have gotten some follow-up questions. People have some interest in both people asking me these questions as well as making comments on course evaluation forums, uncertainties about certain issues, etc. So I wanted to sort of address three questions today. We'll break them up into three videos. All of them are basically around a central theme. What do we tell people that we're doing? What do we tell people the problem might be? What's the target of our intervention? First video here, what do we tell our patients? Second video will be, what do we tell referral sources, other practitioners, other therapists, etc. And third video is going to be, what do we tell ourselves? So first video, let's talk about what we might say to the patient about a broader type of approach like I believe is necessary, very patient-centered, trying to avoid pathologizing their pain, pathologizing their dysfunction, whether it's voice and swallow, pain, movement disorders of any sort. First of all, what I do is try and ascertain what is it that they think is wrong with them, because those beliefs, they're important, right? Somebody told them something. It could be their doctor, could be another clinician, could be their a friend, could be Dr. Google, could be did their own research, and they feel like, I'm just going to pick something here, that they've got scar tissue. They've got scar tissue in their neck and throat that's limiting their ability to swallow well. And, it's certainly a viable explanation. I may not fully believe that scar tissue is totally responsible for that in and of itself without an influence of the nervous system, the patient's awareness, and all the other stories that we tell people. But I'm going to honor that story by saying, well, it could be that scar tissue. But I'm also going to add another complementary type of an explanation, such as it could be the scar tissue. It also could be sort of an aberrant left over in your nervous system from when you had that injury or that trauma or whatever it was, and the body went into a self-protection mode. Your nervous system just never let go. I try to give them more than one explanation. I also try and instill with them when we start treatment, when we start intervention, whether it's evaluation or treatment, that the tissue, the pathology, shouldn't necessarily be my target. My target for intervention, my target for evaluation should be connecting with their complaints. And that sounds rather vague, and some people don't like the vagueness of my approach. They want to be told, no, it's the trigger point, or it's a fascial restriction, or it's the scar tissue, it's the muscle tension, all these things as if they exist in isolation. In reality, we can't own what's under the skin, what's the problem, so to speak. But what we can own is try and connect our patient with that familiar sensation when we do evaluation, when we do our interview even. Evaluation and treatment, to me, should be always very patient-centered, patient-directed, where whatever I do should immediately cause them to say, yeah, whatever you did, that's relevant, and it feels like it could be helpful. So what do we tell our patients? I try not to instill more fear, more beliefs that something's wrong with them by adding another pathology maybe that they hadn't heard of yet, even though that's kind of what they're seeking out of us. I repeat back to them what could be based on what somebody else told them, and I try and add a more neurocentric type of explanation to say it could be this or this. But ultimately, right now, as I touch you, as I do this evaluation, is what I'm doing with you, does that feel like it's familiar? Does it feel relevant? Does it feel like it might be helpful? And if so, let's just hold this stretch for a while to see if we can make an impact.